Michel de Nostradamus, better known as Nostradamus, was a 16th century French astrologer, physician, and reputed seer. Born in 1503 in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, France, Nostradamus is best known for his book Les Prophéties, a collection of 942 poetic quatrains allegedly predicting future events. Nostradamus's life was marked by a mix of success and controversy. He studied medicine, worked as an apothecary, and gained fame for creating a rose pill that purportedly protected against the plague. However, he faced challenges such as expulsion from medical school and the loss of his first wife and children to disease. In the 1550s, Nostradamus began publishing almanacs containing predictions for the coming year, which became very popular. He developed a fascination with the occult and began writing his most famous work, Les Prophéties. The quatrains within this book are written in a cryptic style, featuring a mix of French, Greek, Latin, and Provençal languages, as well as references to historical figures and events. Since the publication of Les Prophéties, Nostradamus has attracted both fervent supporters and detractors. Supporters claim that he accurately predicted major world events, such as the rise of Adolf Hitler, the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the September 11th attacks. However, skeptics argue that his predictions are vague and can be interpreted to fit various events retroactively. Academic historians generally maintain that any perceived accuracy in Nostradamus's predictions is the result of misinterpretations, mistranslations, or the exploitation of ambiguities in his writing. Many of the popular legends surrounding Nostradamus's life have been shown to lack historical evidence. Despite the ongoing debate over the legitimacy of his prophetic abilities, Nostradamus's legacy has endured, influencing popular culture for centuries. In 1977, the NSA wrote a classified memo discussing the potential of psychic weapons based on supposed Soviet research into parapsychology. The memo described several strange events, including the detention of an American journalist in Russia for receiving a Soviet paper on psi particles within living cells, which allegedly provided a physical basis for psychic phenomena. The memo also mentioned a successful demonstration of telekinesis in a Soviet military lab and the discovery of a new form of energy that could move or alter matter. It cited experiments where objects allegedly disappeared and reappeared, which some scientists found plausible based on the idea of particles emerging from and dissolving back into energy. Based on these premises, the NSA memo hypothesized two types of psychic weapons. The first involved a command and control officer being kidnapped and programmed to develop telekinetic abilities under stress, causing objects to move and disappear, disrupting communications. The second, more terrifying concept was the idea of bringing together 10 psychics who had exhibited disruptive telekinetic phenomena. The memo questioned whether this could cause a chain reaction, resulting in matter reversing direction, sinking back into energy, or being displaced in time and space, potentially affecting an entire city. Interestingly, the hypothetical psychic weapon bears some resemblance to the Philadelphia experiment hoax, which claimed that the USS Eldridge was rendered invisible or transported through time and space. However, the NSA has stated that they do not have records on this alleged incident. Number stations are mysterious shortwave radio stations that broadcast formatted numbers, believed to be encrypted messages for intelligence officers operating in foreign countries. These stations have been reported since World War I and continue to operate today, with most using speech synthesis to vocalize numbers, although digital modes and Morse code are also used. During the Cold War era, number stations were abundant, and some countries, such as Czechoslovakia, have acknowledged using them for espionage. In the United States, the Atención Numbers station in Cuba was central to the conviction of the Cuban Five on espionage charges in 2001. The prosecutors claimed the spies received and decoded messages from the station using shortwave radios and laptops. Number stations are thought to be a foolproof way for governments to communicate with spies, as the messages are likely encrypted with a one-time pad, making them unbreakable if proper tradecraft is followed. The stations have been known to change broadcast details or produce special transmissions during significant political events, suggesting their use in intelligence operations. Number stations follow a basic format, with a prelude that includes an identifier, followed by the number of groups in the message, the page of the one-time pad to be used, and then the recitation of the number groups themselves. The stations usually sign off with a characteristic phrase or sound. Shortwave radio enthusiasts have monitored and classified number stations since the 1970s, giving them nicknames based on distinctive elements, such as the Lincolnshire Poacher, which played a few bars of the eponymous folk song before each transmission. Some stations have been tracked down by location, but most remain mysterious, adding to their allure as a fascinating and enduring aspect of espionage history. Nutraceuticals are products derived from food sources that claim to provide additional health benefits beyond basic nutritional value. The term nutraceutical is a combination of the words nutrition and pharmaceutical, and it was coined in 1989 by Stephen L. DeFelice. In the United States, nutraceuticals are unregulated and fall under the same category as dietary supplements and food additives, which are governed by the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. The Food and Drug Administration, FDA, does not define the term nutraceutical, and depending on the ingredients and marketing claims, these products can be regulated as drugs, dietary supplements, food ingredients, or food. Nutraceuticals are marketed with the implication that they have pharmaceutical effects, but these claims are often not scientifically confirmed or approved for clinical benefits. Due to the lack of regulation, there are significant product quality issues in the global nutraceutical market, with some companies using low-quality or ineffective ingredients to create products with wide profit margins. Dietary supplements, a type of nutraceutical, can contain vitamins, minerals, herbs, amino acids, and other substances. They do not require FDA approval before marketing, but must follow certain manufacturing practices and labeling requirements. Functional foods, another category of nutraceuticals, are fortified or enriched during processing and marketed as providing specific health benefits. Examples include vitamin D enriched milk and calcium fortified orange juice. The modern nutraceutical market began in Japan in the 1980s and has grown significantly alongside advances in technology. By 2027, the global nutraceutical market is projected to reach approximately 614 billion euros, or around $675 billion USD. Critics argue that because nutraceuticals are unregulated, they are sold based on marketing hype rather than actual clinical evidence. Some experts propose abandoning the term altogether, due to the vague and undiscriminating evidence for the biological effects of these products. The Oak Island mystery revolves around a series of stories of buried treasure and unexplained objects found on or near Oak Island in Nova Scotia, Canada. Attempts to find treasure on the island have been made since the 18th century, with theories about the potential artifacts ranging from pirate treasure to the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. The original shaft, known as the Money Pit, was allegedly discovered in 1799 by Daniel McGuinness. According to the story, McGuinness found a depression in the ground and, with the help of two friends, excavated the area, discovering layers of flagstones and oak platforms at regular intervals. Subsequent excavations by various companies and individuals have uncovered additional layers, as well as alleged flood tunnels and other mysterious features. Over the years, several artifacts have been found on the island, some of which have been dated to be hundreds of years old. However, no significant main treasure site has ever been discovered. The search for treasure has been hindered by repeated flooding of the pit, which some believe to be caused by an elaborate drainage system connecting the pit to the ocean. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Oak Island mystery is the stone allegedly found 90 feet below the surface, which was said to have been inscribed with mysterious symbols. The stone's existence and location have been the subject of much speculation and debate. Many theories have been proposed to explain the Oak Island mystery, including the involvement of pirates, the Knights Templar, the Rosicrucians, and even Francis Bacon. Some researchers have suggested that the pit may be a natural sinkhole or the result of industrial works, such as a tar kiln or salt works. In 1996, workers cleaning a sludge pit at the GMC Delphi Interior plant in Anderson, Indiana, made a bizarre discovery. While sifting through a pool of toxic liquid containing antifreeze and automobile parts, they found several grayish-red squid-like creatures swimming in the goo. These creatures, dubbed the oil pit squid, measured about 6 to 8 inches in length. Intrigued by the find, one of the workers managed to capture a specimen and place it in a jar for safekeeping. However, the jar was left in the factory for a month before anyone in management attempted to send it to a lab for examination. By that time, the specimen had mysteriously vanished, possibly ending up in a garbage can or taken home by a curious employee. Despite efforts to locate additional specimens during the following year's sludge pit cleaning, no more of these unusual creatures were found. The discovery of the oil pit squid has led to various theories about its origins, with some speculating that it could be an alien spore, a mutated earthworm, or a massive bacterial growth. Others have suggested that it might be an unknown parasite or a fish-like creature capable of surviving in the harsh, chemical-laden environment. However, it is important to note that the original story of the oil pit squid came from a tabloid article, raising the possibility that the entire incident was either a hoax or a fabricated tale. Nonetheless, the mystery surrounding these strange creatures continues to captivate those interested in cryptozoology and the unexplained. Omnism is the belief in or respect for all religions. The term has recently resurfaced due to modern-day self-described omnists redefining the concept. Omnism is similar to syncretism, which is the belief in a fusion of faiths in harmony. However, omnism can also be seen as a way to accept the existence of various religions without necessarily believing in all that they teach. Many omnists believe that all religions contain elements of a common truth and are open to potential truths from any religion. The Oxford English Dictionary defines an omnist as someone who believes in a single transcendent purpose or cause that unites all things or people. Notable figures who have been associated with omnist beliefs include Philip James Bailey, who first coined the term, actress Ellen Burstyn, musician John Coltrane, and basketball player Shaquille O'Neal. O'Neal has stated that he identifies with every religion because he doesn't want to exclude or alienate others of different faiths. Other organizations and movements that practice or have practiced omnist beliefs include Unitarian Universalism, the Church for the Fellowship of All Peoples, and the Parliament of the World's Religions, which was the first organization with the goal of uniting all religions. In the 1940s, theoretical physicist John Wheeler proposed a mind-bending idea. All electrons and positrons in the universe might actually be manifestations of a single particle moving back and forth through time. This concept, known as the One-electron Universe postulate, suggests that the countless electron world lines we observe across spacetime are all part of one gigantic tangled knot traced out by a solitary electron. At any given moment, a slice through spacetime would reveal numerous meeting points with this knotted line, each representing an electron at that instant. Intriguingly, half of these lines would be moving forward in time, while the other half would have looped around, traveling backwards as positrons, the electron's antiparticle. Although more electrons than positrons have been observed, Wheeler speculated that the missing positrons might be hidden within protons. This captivating hypothesis, while not widely accepted, offers a thought-provoking perspective on the nature of particles and their interactions through time. The chances of being killed by a meteorite are incredibly slim, estimated to be around 1 in 700,000 to 1 in 1,600,000 over a lifetime. However, researchers have recently uncovered credible records from 1888 that document the first ever confirmed case of a meteorite fatally striking a person. The incident took place on August 22nd in Sulaymaniyah, located in present-day Iraq, where a strong bright light accompanied by smoke traveled toward a village. Meteorites fell for about 10 minutes, and as a result, one man was killed, another was seriously injured, and crops were damaged in a manner consistent with a fireball shockwave. The event was recorded in multiple letters written in an old Ottoman Turkish language, making them difficult to translate and leading to the delay in their discovery. While there have been numerous instances of meteorite-related injuries and property damage throughout history, this 1888 event stands out as the only confirmed case of a meteorite directly causing a human fatality. Open-source religions apply the principles of open-source software development to the creation and evolution of religious belief systems, content, and practices. In contrast to traditional religions that often have proprietary, hierarchical, and change-resistant structures, open-source religions emphasize sharing, participation, self-determination, decentralization, and continuous refinement through dialogue among practitioners. The concept of open-source religion has its roots in the Discordian religious text Principia Discordia, which included a copyleft disclaimer in its 1970 edition, and has since influenced various movements, including open-source Judaism, open-source yoga, and open-source Wicca. These initiatives aim to keep religious resources open and available, and to foster collaboration and innovation within their respective traditions. Open-source methods have also been used to establish new religions, such as Yoism, which combines rational inquiry and science with pantheism, and Dudism, which is based on Taoism, Epicureanism, and the film The Big Lebowski. These emergent religions often have no strict doctrine, and instead invite participants to contribute to the development of their tenets and practices. In 1962, the United States conducted a series of high-altitude nuclear tests known as Operation Fishbowl. These tests were part of the larger Operation Dominic nuclear test program and were designed to study the effects of nuclear detonations at high altitudes. The tests were conducted at Johnston Island in the Pacific Ocean, and involved launching nuclear warheads on missiles to altitudes ranging from 30 to over 80 kilometers. The most notable test was Starfish Prime, which successfully detonated a 1.4 megaton warhead at an altitude of 400 kilometers. This detonation caused an electromagnetic pulse that was far larger than expected, damaging electrical systems in Hawaii almost 1,500 kilometers away, and disabling several satellites in orbit. The Starfish Prime radiation belt persisted for many months, causing further damage to satellites. Other tests in the series, such as Bluegill and Kingfish, also provided valuable data on the effects of high-altitude nuclear explosions, including the formation of artificial radiation belts and the impact on radio communications. In the frigid depths of Antarctica, a mysterious expedition took place in 1947, shrouded in secrecy and intrigue. Admiral Byrd, the leader of Operation Highjump, gave a cryptic interview to a Chilean journalist before returning to the United States. In the interview, he spoke of a future enemy that could fly pole to pole, leaving many to wonder about the true purpose of the mission. Tragically, the expedition was cut short, and shortly after, Secretary of Defense Forrestal committed suicide under suspicious circumstances. Rumors circulated that he had been babbling about aliens in the days leading up to his death. Some even speculate that he wanted to take a more truthful approach to informing the public about this issue. Adding to the mystery, 2 submarines full of Nazis were reportedly stopped in Argentina after the war. While the claim lacks concrete evidence, some believe they were en route to a secret Nazi base in Antarctica. The existence of such a base remains a topic of debate, with some researchers claiming that the Nazis had an interest in UFOs and may have established a presence on the icy continent. One well-known researcher from the 1960s and 1970s, whose name remains elusive, interviewed individuals who were present during Operation Highjump. According to their anonymous accounts, a battle against UFOs took place, resulting in the sinking of one ship. While subsequent researchers attempted to corroborate these claims, no evidence of the alleged sunken ship has been found. Antarctica itself is shrouded in political secrecy, with access heavily restricted to scientists and those with special permits. The Antarctica Treaty, signed in the 1960s, regulates the continent and has been surprisingly successful in maintaining its pristine environment. However, the fact that ordinary citizens cannot freely visit Antarctica raises questions about what may be hidden beneath its icy surface. Over the years, there have been reports of UFOs flying out of the ocean in the region, with the most recent sighting occurring in the early 2000s. While these reports lack definitive proof, they contribute to the overall strangeness surrounding Antarctica. In recent times, flat earthers have muddied the waters by claiming that Antarctica doesn't even exist, adding another bizarre twist to the already perplexing mystery. Although the truth about Operation Highjump and the secrets of Antarctica remain elusive, one thing is certain: there is more to this icy continent than meets the eye. As we continue to explore and unravel the mysteries of our world, perhaps one day we will discover the truth behind the enigmatic expedition and the hidden wonders that lie beneath the frozen surface of Antarctica. Also, in 1962, the United States Department of Defense proposed a controversial plan called Operation Northwoods, which aimed to gain public support for a war against Cuba by staging false flag terrorist attacks. The plan involved CIA operatives committing acts of terrorism against American targets and blaming them on the Cuban government. Suggestions included hijacking and shooting down planes, sinking boats carrying Cuban refugees, and even orchestrating terrorism in U.S. cities. The goal was to create the appearance of a Cuban threat and justify military intervention. However, President John F. Kennedy rejected the proposals. The documents related to Operation Northwoods were declassified in 1997 and revealed the shocking extent of the plan. In addition to Northwoods, other proposals under Operation Mongoose included staging an incident to make it seem like Cuba had attacked a U.S. facility, providing an excuse for overthrowing the Cuban government, and even a plan to blame Cuba if a Mercury spaceflight carrying John Glenn crashed. Operation Paperclip was a secret United States intelligence program that brought more than 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians to the U.S. for government employment after the end of World War II. Many of these individuals had been members of the Nazi Party and were involved in projects such as the development of rocket technology and chemical weapons. Despite their controversial backgrounds, the U.S. government believed their expertise was crucial to the ongoing war effort against Japan and the emerging Cold War with the Soviet Union. Key figures recruited through Operation Paperclip included Werner von Braun, who played a significant role in the development of the V-2 rocket for Nazi Germany, and later became a central figure in the U.S. space program, serving as the first director of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center. Other notable recruits made significant contributions to aerospace engineering, aviation, and defense projects. The program, which lasted from 1945 to 1959, was not without controversy due to the Nazi affiliations of many participants. Investigations were conducted, but no paperclip scientist was found guilty of any crime in the United States or Germany. The legacy of Operation Paperclip remains complex, highlighting the ethical dilemmas that can arise when the pursuit of scientific advancement clashes with the need to address the moral implications of an individual's past actions. In early February 2007, a bizarre phenomenon occurred in Siberia, Russia, where orange-tinted snow fell across an area of 1,500 square kilometers, spanning the Omsk, Tomsk, and Tyumen oblasts. The snow had a peculiar odor, an oily texture, and contained 4 times the normal level of iron. While the exact cause of the orange snow remains unclear, several theories have been proposed. Some speculated that it could be the result of industrial pollution, a rocket launch, or even a nuclear accident. However, these theories were later dismissed, as tests revealed the presence of sand and clay dust particles in the snow, suggesting that a heavy sandstorm in neighboring Kazakhstan might have been responsible for the unusual coloration. Despite the snow being deemed non-toxic, residents were advised not to use it or allow animals to consume it. While colored snow is not unheard of in Russia, with instances of black, blue, green, and red snowfall reported in the past, the Siberian orange snow of 2007 remains a particularly striking and mysterious occurrence that captured the attention of people around the world. Organoids are miniature, simplified versions of organs grown in a laboratory setting. They are derived from stem cells, which have the ability to self-organize and differentiate into various cell types, mimicking the key features and functions of the organ they represent. To create an organoid, stem cells are cultured in a 3-dimensional medium, often using a gel-like substance called matrigel or Cultrex BME. The cells are then coaxed into forming the desired organoid by exposing them to specific growth factors and signaling molecules. Organoids have been successfully created for a wide range of organs, including the brain, intestines, stomach, liver, pancreas, lungs, and kidneys. These miniature organ models are being used to study developmental biology, disease progression, and drug responses in a more realistic and physiologically relevant way compared to traditional 2-dimensional cell cultures. Organoids also hold promise for personalized medicine, as they can be derived from a patient's own cells, enabling researchers to test potential treatments and predict individual responses. While organoids provide a powerful tool for understanding organ development and function, they do not fully recapitulate the complexity of a complete organ and its interactions with other systems in the body. Orgone is a hypothetical universal life force or energy originally proposed by Wilhelm Reich in the 1930s. Reich believed that orgone was a massless, omnipresent substance that could coalesce to create organization on all scales, from the smallest microscopic units to macroscopic structures like organisms and galaxies. According to Reich, deficits or constrictions in bodily orgone were at the root of many diseases, most prominently cancer. He developed special orgone energy accumulators, devices ostensibly collecting orgone energy from the environment, to study orgone and apply it medically to improve general health and vitality. Reich also associated orgone closely with sexuality, seeing it as the primary energetic force of life. However, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration eventually obtained a federal injunction barring the interstate distribution of organ-related materials, as Reich and his associates were making false and misleading claims. While the concept of orgone energy continues to be explored by some alternative medicine practitioners and researchers, it is not supported by empirical evidence in the physical sciences or mainstream medicine.